Kellyanne Class on WESH 2 News. WESH 2 News starts now with breaking news.
That breaking news now at 5. An Orlando health doctor arrested after Windermere police say that he killed his own wife.
WESH 2's Dave McDaniel is joining us live right now. And Dave, police say he confessed to the murder?
Yeah, and according to Windermere police, this all started with an emergency call very early Monday morning and ended with a string of confessions, including one just today here at police headquarters. And the listed charge, according to the Windermere Police Department, is second-degree murder. We asked for the 911 calls either from Monday or from today. We're told that none of those calls can be released at this time because it's an ongoing investigation. And late this afternoon, just minutes ago, Orlando Health sent us a statement saying that the Ocoee office of Dr. Thomas Wenzel is closed due to unforeseen circumstances, and his patients will be rescheduled. Covering Orange County, live in Windermere, Dave McDaniel, WESH 2 News.
All right, Dave, thank you. Also breaking tonight, we're hearing there is a verdict in a trial involving the maker of the free fall ride at Icon Park. 14-year-old Tyree Sampson died after slipping from that ride back in 2022. WESH 2's Tonight, Geber Geddes is live at the Orange County Courthouse with the late-breaking details tonight.
Well, Michelle, we just got word about 5 minutes ago from a family spokesperson that a verdict is likely in. And if that's the case, that means it took less than an hour for the jury to deliberate. Now, the plaintiffs are here. The jury, consisting of 7 men, are also present, but the defendant is not inside the courtroom. This is a default case because Funtime, the company that is responsible for designing, building, and testing the free fall ride, chose not to show up for the trial. Now, during the trial, the jury also watched the horrific video that was captured the night Tyree fell to his death. And a state investigation found that he slipped out of his harness after his seat hadn't been adjusted to support his size. Now, again, we are hearing that a verdict is in. The judge just took the bench and the jurors returned inside the courtroom. As soon as we learn the verdict, we will share it with you. For now, reporting live in Orlando, Tonight, Geber Geddes, WESH 2 News.
The low temperatures over the last few days have sent manatees looking for warmer waters at Blue Spring State Park. We sent Chopper 2 over Blue Spring earlier today. And the cold, it isn't over just yet.
That's right. Well, today was considered a more decent day. We got some colder weather that's on the way, right, Marquise?
Unfortunately, right? We call this fool's fall, where you get a taste of those seasonal temperatures, and then next thing you know, the conditions are going to change pretty quickly here in Central Florida. There's a look at the cold front that's going to bring some change to your late work week forecast on Friday. Today, though, was absolutely perfect. Highs were back in the low and the mid-70s, courtesy of this system of high pressure. But once this cold front moves in, the warmer weather will be moving out. In fact, we'll be dipping down into the 30s in select areas across Marion County early out the door on Saturday morning. So we were nice and mild today, but with the north and westerly orientation of these winds Friday night and into Saturday, we may even see some frosty weather conditions. It's an impact weather day for us to start off your Saturday, courtesy of this freeze watch that's in place for the western half of Marion County, encompassing Ocala, where temperatures will be right around that freezing level, but out the door currently still gorgeous. Here we are just before sunset across I-4. Got a mix of sun and clouds in the picture, but lower 70s for Orlando. Out towards the west, you're a little bit cooler in Wildwood, Leesburg, Claremont. 68 degrees just after 5 o'clock, and we'll be slowly cooling over the course of your evening. But this is going to be one of the warmest nights we've seen so far across this first week of December. Temperatures tonight are likely to stall out in the 50s, but they won't be there for long. I'll track the cooler weather coming up in the next 15 minutes.
All right, Marquise, thank you. Flagler County plans on opening a cold weather shelter tomorrow night. The Rock Transformation Center will be open for anyone who needs a warm place to stay between the hours of 5 p.m. and 8 a.m.
Right now to a developing story, a magnitude 7.0 earthquake that rocked California, rocked much of the West Coast. First at 5, we've got new video of the damage that it caused in this small town near the epicenter. You can see items fell in homes, restaurants, and a grocery store. The National Weather Service briefly issued a tsunami warning stretching from San Francisco, from the Bay Area, all the way up to Oregon. That warning has since been canceled, and there are no reports of any injuries. Some good news there. All right, more locally, the owner owner and captain of Toho Riverboat Adventures in St. Cloud and his fiancée are now being accused of having sex with a teenage employee.
38-year-old Richard Lawrence and 30-year-old Francis Fernandez were arrested on Saturday. They're facing charges including sexual battery and aggravated child abuse. WESH 2's Paola Tristan Arruda tells us what else he's accused of doing. We have reached out to St. Cloud Police and the Toho Riverboat Adventures. We are waiting to hear back from the boat company.
NASA is facing another setback in its mission to return to the moon. Today, NASA Chief Bill Nelson announced the agency is now delaying the upcoming Artemis missions.
As WESH 2's Michelle Meredith explains, this comes as questions remain if the Space Launch System will fly again. Administrator Nelson says the SLS is the only spacecraft system that is currently human-rated to go to the moon. The next Starship flight test is set for early 2025. New at 5 o'clock, a U.S. judge has rejected Boeing's plea deal in a conspiracy case tied to deadly crashes. The deal would have let Boeing pay a fine of up to $487 million for misleading U.S. regulators about two 737 MAX crashes. The crashes happened in Indonesia and Ethiopia in 2018 and 2019. Families of the crash victims want Boeing to pay $24.8 billion. And coming up in our next half hour, a bad year for Boeing, the impact it's had on jobs here on the Space Coast. A busy road in Cocoa is getting speed tables to slow down drivers. The Brevard County Board of Commissioners voted 5-0 to put them on James Road. Now, if you don't know what they are, speed tables are long speed bumps that measure just over 20 feet long. After public comments, the board ultimately decided that the new housing developments and the traffic that comes with them make this necessary.
I myself am dealing with the same thing right over 528 because I live in Canaveral Groves. So I personally know what you guys are all dealing with.
Speed tables average about $10,000 each to install. Work on the project will start in the coming weeks.
Still ahead at 5, wedding rings are often made of precious metals, but not like this one. The pressure one jeweler felt when handed a meteorite and part of the Apollo 11 spacecraft. Plus, the words left behind on ammunition as police investigate the killing of a health insurance company CEO. And getting ready for race day, here's Eric Burst live for us from the Race Expo. What's going on out there, Eric?
It is a party. Listen, a couple of days to the race, and you can tell people are getting off work, coming, picking up bibs. We'll talk live not only about the race party beforehand, but where we're going on Saturday. We'll see you in just a minute.
Closed captioning brought to you by National Floors Direct.
WESH 2 is bringing you all the action from the 2024 OUC Orlando Half Marathon. Join Jason Guy, Meredith McDonough, and the WESH 2 News team live with every angle of the race, from the start to the finish line at Lake Eola Park, with interviews and real-time updates throughout the course. The OUC Orlando Half Marathon. Live coverage starts Saturday, December 7th at 5 a.m. Sponsored by Cool Today.
On the next Access Hollywood, Meghan Markle stuns on the red carpet, and Kerry Washington on the sisterhood of 6888. Plus, Taylor Swift's heiress fashion wizard.
This was that snake look. This is very Vegas.
Next Access Hollywood.
I want to get you back to some breaking news. Moments ago, a jury reached a verdict in the trial of a teen killed on a local amusement ride.
14-year-old Tyree Sampson died when he slipped from the free fall ride along I-Drive back in 2022. His family was suing the ride's manufacturer. Let's listen in to the jury and what was said.
We, the jury, return the following verdict. What is the amount of damages sustained by Nakia Dodd for her pain and suffering as a result of Tyree Sampson's injury and death, and for medical or funeral expenses resulting from Tyree Sampson's injury and death? A, in the past, $30 million. B, in the future, $125 million. What is the amount of damages sustained by Yarnell Sampson is for pain and suffering as a result of Tyree Sampson's injury and death, and for medical or funeral expenses resulting from Tyree Sampson's injury and death? A, in the past, $30 million. B, in the future, $125 million. So say we all this 5th day of December 2024.
All right, we stream that verdict live on WESH.com and the WESH 2 News mobile app. To get breaking news updates when they happen, download our free WESH 2 News mobile app. Now, we do want to take you back out live to the courthouse because we are hearing from the family of Tyree Sampson after that verdict. Let's listen.
And once again, that was Nakia Dodd and her legal team talking about the verdict after it was read in the death of her son, Tyree Sampson. This occurred back in 2022.
Yeah, he fell from that free fall ride back at Icon Park. So the jury decided today to pay the family $310 million in damages. Of course, this was a foreign company, Fun Time, and they did not show up in court today, but this was the verdict that they were hoping for. As you heard her say, she doesn't have any plans for the future.
Yeah.
This is a life-changing event for her, but this is a very small, if you could even call it a win. You know, I hate to even call it that, but we will continue to follow this story here on WESH 2 News. We will have a live report coming up for you later on this evening.
All right, let's talk about what's going on weather-wise. Some good news out there. It was a beautiful day today, Marquise, but it's going to change a little bit more.
Absolutely, Luana. Many peaks and valleys in our 7-day forecast here in Central Florida, but today was one of the peaks. Take a look at this. It's your 24-hour temperature change, and we're leaps and bounds ahead of where we were just 24 hours ago. Across I-75, it's a 5-degree difference. As you head towards I-95, though, that difference becomes more pronounced. Land, you're 13 degrees warmer than you were yesterday. Daytona Beach, Palm Coast, 11 degrees warmer than you were yesterday as well. So it's nice to see the power of the sunshine that we saw today, which allowed us to return to the low in the mid-70s for your afternoon highs. High of 74 in DeLand, 73 in Orlando. So we're pretty uniform everywhere you go here in Central Florida. A mix of highs between 71 and 74 degrees, courtesy of this system of high pressure. But we've got some significant changes coming our way, courtesy of the cold front moving in from the north and the west. We'll see that tonight with a little bit of rain and then much cooler temperatures Friday and Saturday to start off the day. But for right now, still hanging on to the upper 60s if you're in Ocala with mostly sunny skies. Low 70s in Claremont and Winter Haven, 72 degrees in Orlando. And we'll be cooling down tonight slowly. A blanket of clouds will start to form, but here's what's coming in from the north. Early rain showers overnight across our north and westernmost counties. Not significant rain, but a couple showers here and there to start off the day on Friday. And then once the rain does wipe away, we're left with sunshine in the afternoon, but will be cooler after the passage of the cold front. So here's what you're waking up to. 48 in Ocala, 50 in Lynn, towards the south, lower 50s for Bushnell, Webster, mid 50s in Leesburg, across Kenansville, 50 degrees on the dot, lower 60s for Cocoa and Satellite Beach early on the dot tomorrow, 56 in Apopka, 55 in Windermere. And then as we move across the next 24 to 72 hours, we'll drop significantly heading into Saturday morning. Falling from high lows of 48 degrees in Ocala to the lower 30s on Saturday. And then as we move across the rest of your afternoon, we're back in the upper 50s to the lower 70s with significant sunshine on Friday, excuse me.
Don't miss our year-end closeout going on now at Toyota of Orlando and Toyota of Claremont.
I was crashed into by a careless driver just south of Gainesville, and attorney Dan Newland got me $550,000.
Involved in a car accident? Let's get started. Call me at 407-888-8000.
Thank you, Dan.
Every day at 4, WESH 2 News is in your community, covering the stories for Central Florida. Nancy Alvarez, Jesse Pagan, and First Warning meteorologist Cam Tran. WESH 2 News at 4. Local, live, late breaking. WESH 2 News continues.
Welcome back tonight. It is common for children with autism to wander or run off. We saw it happen at least 3 times last month in Central Florida, and it ended tragically, Michelle.
WESH 2's Volusia County reporter Pamela Combs spoke with parents taking extra measures at home so their kids don't wander off, but it comes at a cost. For those who are diagnosed with autism and tend to wander away, you can apply for a big red safety box through the National Autism Association. It's free and it comes with 2 free door alarms and other safety materials. Meanwhile, the Volusia County Sheriff is taking action after the recent deaths involving children with autism. The sheriff is partnering with several organizations to offer specialized water safety training and give more than 100 families a tracker for their kids.
They either fit on your wrist or they fit on the child's ankle, and it's almost like our ankle monitors are. Once it's on, it's not coming off. And law enforcement is able to track your child.
The program is called Project Lifesaver. The sheriff says he hopes to have everything up and running within a month. Deny, defend, depose. Those were the words written on the ammunition used to kill United Healthcare's CEO. And investigators believe it was a message meant for insurance companies who deny claims, delay them, and take depositions. And tonight, the search is on for the person who killed Brian Thompson yesterday as he walked to the company's investor conference at a Hilton hotel in New York City. Investigators released these images Thursday morning of a person of interest that they want to question in the case taken at a hostel on the city's Upper West Side.
At this hostel, they said they had this individual who had the same coat, who was wearing a mask. He almost never took it down.
Police say there was one brief moment where the suspected shooter took off his mask at the front desk. And United Healthcare is part of United Health Group. The parent company's CEO released this recorded message to all employees.
It's a terrible tragedy, and I know we are in shock and disbelief. Our hearts are with his family, especially his mom, his wife Paulie, his brother, and his 2 boys.
He says everyone at the company is grieving the loss.
So how does it sound? The state gives you a break on your property tax for up to 20 years, but there's always a catch. WESH News' Michelle Meredith joining us live in studio tonight to explain there's always that catch.
Here's the catch. You have to take the money saved and put it to a good cause, which is try to make your home as hurricane-proof as possible. Back to you.
This time of year, you'll probably share holiday meals with all kinds of people, and at times the conversations can shift to uncomfortable topics.
That's right, but one local college student doesn't shy away from that. In fact, he's turned it into a popular campus club that's seeing real change. Jason Guy introduces us to this week's WESH 2 community champion, Breaking Bread.
New at 5, this drink could be a slam dunk. Shaquille O'Neal has teamed up with Pepsi to launch a holiday-flavored soda. Shaq stars in an ad for Pepsi's new zero-sugar gingerbread. Pepsi is offering a promotion through December 11th where people can sign up for a free can. It's an interesting flavor.
Very interesting. Would you drink that?
No, I'm not a big soda drinker, and that sounds awful to me personally.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, me too. All right. We'll leave it there. All right. Up next, Boeing's mounting troubles and what this means for our Space Coast.
Plus, hundreds of OUC Orlando half marathon runners are picking up their race bids today. We'll take you to the Expo live at the Plaza Live, where all of the action is happening before the big day.
And WESH News Share Your Christmas Food Drive benefiting Second Harvest Food Bank is back for its 39th year. Mark those calendars for next Friday, December 13th. That's right, Friday the 13th. That's the day that Share Your Christmas will be in the 6 county locations right there on your screen from 6 a.m. to 1 p.m. that Friday. We're going to be collecting food, all to help Second Harvest. All the details on how you can get involved are on Share Your Christmas on that page on our website at wesh.com. Marquise?
Our next cool down is inbound here in Central Florida with a cold front on the way tonight. I'll show you what areas may be waking up to frosty weather conditions this weekend, coming up after the...
Closed captioning is sponsored by Florida Blue, your local Blue Cross Blue Shield.
Well, today marks 6 months in space for Boeing Starliner crew members Butch Wilmore and Sonny Williams. They are still at the International Space Station due to problems with Boeing's Starliner spacecraft, which returned to Earth without them earlier this year. Wow.
And Boeing struggles are leading to layoffs here in Central Florida.
As WESH 2's Michelle Meredith explains, the announcement comes as the fallout from the Starliner test mission failure becomes more clear. Well, Boeing CEO in the last company earnings call told investors that the company is looking to streamline the company and focus on airplane manufacturing. The Starliner crew will ride home next February in a SpaceX Dragon. Well, this Saturday, downtown Orlando will be packed with runners for the 48th annual OUC Orlando Half Marathon. This is a live look right now through our tower cam pointed at Lake Eola.
And before they line up at the start line, runners will get ready for race day at the inaugural Race Expo happening right now at the Plaza Live. First Warning meteorologist Eric Burris is there too.
That's right. In addition to the race day forecast, he's got some goodies that he's handing out to people. What's going on out there, Eric?
Listen, within the next 15 minutes, we're going to close up shop for the night, but it all gets going again tomorrow, and it's literally been a party. Think about it. You ever heard the term runner's high? There's a real energy here. People are excited about Saturday, whether they're running the Lake Eola 5K or, of course, the OUC Orlando Half Marathon. So they come here, they pick up their bibs. There's a whole expo in the room over here where you can check out shoes if you need new shoes or any last-minute nutrition items. But I want to take you over here and just kind of look at the course, all right? Start and finish line is going to be right on Central, right at Lake Eola, and it just is a beautiful tour of Orlando. But there's something kind of neat. If you're looking to get involved but you don't want to run, there's actually going to be something fancy. There is a broadcast block party hosted by our own Nancy Alvarez. You bring your lawn chairs, coffee. We'll be putting together cheer signs, and you can cheer friends on. This is a big community event that's getting bigger and bigger. And I think this expo is a huge sign of that. It is a wonderful, wonderful time here. We've been handing out little things, getting people to fill out signs, and basically just talking about how the weather this year is going to be infinitely better than last year. Last year it was humid in the 70s. We'll wake up to temperatures in the 40s and 50s for race time. So I think the big question is how to dress for this race. Okay, so if you're running, think layers, but right around start time, you'll be able to take those layers off, throw them off to the side, and get on with your race. And then they'll be right there for you after the race. It's going to be so much fun. And of course, WESH 2 is the official broadcast partner. We'll be broadcasting live. That's the very latest covering Orange County. Eric Burris, live in Orlando, WESH 2 News.
All right, Eric, thank you. And the OUC Orlando Half Marathon Race Expo runs today until 6 p.m. and Friday from 9 a.m. until 6 p.m.
And then we cannot wait to see everyone in downtown Orlando on Saturday. That's because WESH 2 is your home for the big OUC Orlando Half Marathon. Our race day coverage on it begins at 5 a.m. Saturday with WESH 2 Sunrise, and then the dedicated race broadcast kicks off at 7 a.m. It's a big day.
It really is. And the weather is so important because it really can impact how your race goes that day. Marquise, you're really breaking it down for us like hour by hour.
Yeah, the weather's going to be crucial. Eric was just talking about the runner's high, right? Well, we got temperatures trending low. In fact, much lower than our seasonal average and lower than we'll be to start off the day tomorrow. We'll be back in the upper 40s, and you're looking at that number saying, well, it's a little cold in the morning, but runners love weather like this, right? Not too hot, certainly not too cold. This is the sweet spot, anywhere between the mid-40s and the mid-50s, and that's where we are for the duration of the events, right? So at 47 degrees, pretty nice for running, still at 8 o'clock, 52, and it's not until 10 o'clock that we dive into the 60s, and we'll continue to warm up over the course of the afternoon. So if you're a spectator, maybe a little bit too cool to start off, but just wear those extra layers. I have a feeling that you guys will be fine. Later, though, we will see these temperatures across your weekend resemble what we showed today. We're actually back in the lower 70s for the first time this month. Great to see here, as we were basically right around our seasonal average. So it was a mild turnaround courtesy of the sunshine and this area of high pressure. But what's going to cool your temperatures on Saturday morning is this cold front taking its time to work across the Sunshine State, and it will be equipped with a few rain showers overnight and into the morning tomorrow. For the moment, though, we've got a gorgeous looking sunset in Orlando. We're looking over the I-4 corridor where temperatures still hanging around the lower 70s, 72 degrees with that breeze from the west. Elsewhere, though, we've dropped off into the upper 60s in Wildwood, the Villages, Ocala, Leesburg as well, and we'll slowly begin to cool as the night goes on. So as we mentioned today, we were trending mild, but tomorrow, well, it's a different story. We'll be seeing those cooler temperatures after the passage of this frontal boundary, and then we dry out later in the afternoon. So here's how it plays out. Clouds are building tonight. Got a couple isolated showers just before midnight in our northernmost counties, but the rain coverage and intensity, well, it's not widespread, and it's not too intense either. Just a couple lighter showers to start off the day on Friday, and then we're cloudy in the morning, much drier in the afternoon, in which we'll welcome the sunshine back here in Central Florida. Florida. So to start off the morning tomorrow, upper 40s, lower 50s in Marion County. As you head further south, low to mid 50s across Lake and Sumter counties. Pushing off towards the east now. If you're in Satellite Beach or Cocoa, well, temperatures are back in the lower 60s, so you're trending warmest along the coast. And then to your north, just a few degrees warmer from Daytona down to Winter Park, mid 50s along the I-4 corridor. So tomorrow highs, though, we'll see those between 59 and 71 degrees after the sun does come out for your tree lighting celebration at Lake Eola on Friday. Temperatures are back in the upper 50s, so we cool down. Then we have impact weather to start off the day Saturday morning, courtesy of the freeze watch in Marion County, in which temperatures should drop off into the low 30s. But for your weekend, we're in good shape in the afternoon. 68 Saturday, 75 on Sunday. So we're warming up heading into the work week. So warm, in fact, that we bounce back into the lower 80s on Tuesday. And we bounce back here on WESH 2 News after the break.
Happy holidays from all of us at WESH 2.
All right, a health alert to feed your chocolate addiction. A new study shows dark chocolate may actually lower your risk of developing type 2 diabetes.
Researchers found eating at least 5 servings of dark chocolate each week could lower the risk by more than 20%. It has to be dark, though, and that's because it contains more cacao, the raw and less processed form of chocolate. It also contains the highest levels of flavanols, which act like antioxidants and reduce inflammation. All right, new at 5, a custom jeweler in Colorado just got a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. His team was asked to make a ring using a piece of a meteorite that is billions of years old and a piece of the Apollo 11 spacecraft, which took humans to the moon for the very first time. They've got just one shot to get it right, so weeks of planning went into this piece, and there was even a test trial.
We got this emergency space blanket to make a fake ring, make a test ring to see if it would work, because I didn't want to commit to cutting a part of basically national history for a ring.
Now, the customer who ordered that custom ring said that he waited for months to bid on the items at auction. He said he had a childhood dream of becoming an astronaut, so when it came time to pick out a wedding band, he knew he wanted to incorporate that bit of history. Very creative.
That is incredible.
Yeah.
I love it. All right, well, WESH 2 News at 6 is straight ahead.
Stuart Moore is joining us now with what we're working on.
Ladies, I hope you enjoyed this afternoon in the great temperatures, because changes could be coming. Cool weather is not moving out for good. We have your overnight chilly forecast next at 6. And the mission to the moon delayed yet again. The announcement from NASA and what it means ahead of new leadership taking over at the Space Coast. But first, we continue to follow breaking news. A doctor at Orlando Health arrested for murdering his wife. We are live in Windermere with the details we just learned from police. Next at 6.
Closed captioning is sponsored by New South Window Solutions.